Hey, I'm Cam Day. Welcome to the channel and to today's video, everybody. I hope you're doing okay. As you can tell, we're starting off with a fresh face. I figured that we could do a little get ready with me. Might be fun. I am not going to go super in depth into reviews of the products that I'm using. A handful of them I've had for a few months and I'm finally figuring out how I really feel about them and how they kind of work into my routine. So expect reviews from some specific products coming up, but I just wanted to chill and show you how I go from this to what you normally see in other videos. So let's do that. Also, I'm really kind of chasing the light right now. I'm trying to use the natural light as much as I can, but it's going down fast. So if we have to do some readjusting, just know that's why. Getting clipped up and ready. All right, first things first, I've been obsessed with facial misting. So I'm gonna do that. Let that sit for a quick second and then go in with MAC Prep and Prime FX Plus. This is normally a finishing step for me. I really love it as a setting spray, but just yesterday I used it as a primer and I liked it a lot, so I'm gonna try it again today. Starting with foundation, using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation, the dewy version. Now, if you're wondering why I'm fighting the light, it's because it is 2:48 right now, and yes, this is when I'm getting ready for the day. If you're curious how my days go, it's usually wake up. I woke up at a decent time today, actually. That would be around 7:30, which is actually really huge for me. And wake up literally first thing, find some clothes that are decent enough to go outside, and take the dog out for a little walk. Then once we're inside, we do what I call, I literally just called it this in my mind right now, our morning liquid moment. Basically, we're inside and then it's make lemon water, make coffee, make a smoothie, then make breakfast. So that, you know, is like an hour of time. And then usually we'll sit down and watch the news of some sort, whether it's like the Daily Show or something on YouTube while we eat our breakfast. KKW Creamy Concealer in the shade 8. It's rather orange, so I put it in the closest inner corner of my eyes where I have the most darkness to kind of cancel out that purpliness. So then we're watching TV and then it's like, okay, we actually gotta get to work and do our stuff. So then by then it's like 10, 11, sometimes noon if we're not up that early. And it's like, crap, I gotta like catch up and be an adult and participate in life. So then I'm usually just at my computer at that point. I'm on Instagram. If I haven't already spiraled by then, that's usually about a nice time to start. And then if it is a day that I'm spiraling, I'm just sitting there in my own crustiness, complaining that I'm crusty. So I'm like, hey, go shower and become uncrusty. Being uncrustable. So that's kind of the process that we're in right now. And most of the time I'm like, I want to record this, I want to share this. And I just am like, I don't feel like I'm in the mood. I feel like a garbage person, blah, 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 all of the things. So today is a lucky day for all of us. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I have a really hard time with concealers right now. I had a moment of time where I had kind of my concealers on lock, and that's when I was a different foundation shade than I am right now, because I need one that kind of cancels out my darkness and then one that brightens. Normally I would use one that just did the whole thing, but like I said, all of my concealers have decided to turn against me. So I have like 5 different ones right now. Let's see if this one does anything for me. This is Jouer Cosmetics Essential High Coverage Concealer. So I'm just doing this more in the center of my face. Yeah, it'll work. But it's kind of dry. Ooh, I'm gonna try this. I know that some people spritz in between each step. That always seemed a little overkill for me, but you should always try everything once. Okay, I don't know if I'm supposed to let it sit or not, but I'm just gonna use the same brush that I used for my foundation to blend that out. So far, so good. This concealer is looking like it's turning out okay. Sometimes in real life it looks different than it does on camera. Like the camera tends to pick up on the nuances a little more. So it might be a little bit golden, but I think it works for now. So anyway, that's kind of the series of events that brought me to you here now, today. Now for a little bit of cream blush. This is fairly new to me. This is the e.l.f. cream blush palette, I think in the lighter version. And I'm going to mix these two more, hey guys, peachy warm shades. I've been in a bit of a cream blush mood lately, which is typically not my style just because I feel like I'm constantly fighting off oiliness, if not immediately, just kind of throughout the day, but especially with wearing masks and everything. But my skin is really enjoying having more hydrating things on it, and if I stay home the rest of the day, it won't be a problem. Quick hot take on a very popular makeup trend. I, for one, am not the hugest fan of the like band-aid strip of blush all across your cheeks and nose, or even like the pink on the nose. I think it's very cute for some people, especially if it's more of a style that they do on a regular basis, but also like you can do whatever you want whenever you want, especially with makeup. I feel like you can be whoever you want to be with it. That's the beauty of it. But I just realized for myself, it is not something that I really want to do. And I think sometimes it is executed poorly, and that's just that on that. But I don't need to be hating on nobody, you know? People are just trying to live, so I will just leave it at that. Gonna add a little bit of warmth, because that's always a good time. Some butter bronzer. Classic, oldie but goodie. This is, I think, the original shade, which is nice because it's shows up a lot better on me in the winter time when I have a little less color, but it's also really nice in the summertime because it is so creamy and so easy to blend that it's a really subtle definition and addition of warmth when I do have more color on my skin. I just love it. I will be addressing the hairs last. I usually like to let my makeup kind of settle in a little bit longer, so don't worry. Next, I am going to do a little bit of powder. Am I? I feel like ever since being home, I've been experimenting a lot more with the way that I apply my makeup, like the steps, and I just kind of do that in general, you know, figuring out what works when, and different seasons of your life call for different protocols, you know what I'm saying? So maybe I won't powder just yet. I'm gonna let it settle, see how it goes. When in doubt, let's do some brows. That's how the saying goes, right? Using our tried and true Anastasia Brow Wiz, I use the shade Ebony, which is a perfect shade for me. I have very dark brows. I think they are actually black, but if I use anything that's black, then I just look like Oscar the Grouch. And even he can pull his brows off, but I can't. I just can't do it. So I just go really, really lightly through the density of my brows and then just kind of pull out the ends so that they're a little more defined. But I don't do anything too crazy, you know? I've used a lot of brow pencils and I always end up coming back to this one just because I like the texture of the pencil itself. It's nice and maybe almost waxy, not in texture or like left behind, but it's just not super juicy and pigmented when you first apply it. So it leaves a little bit lighter of a stroke and it looks more of like a shadow on the brows. And that's what I like, instead of individual hairs. I usually don't do a lot to the shape of my brows. I'll just kind of pluck any stragglers from under here, but I've been leaving them for a while, so I started to try and connect underneath my arch, which I rarely ever used pencil before, and kind of thicken my brows, but I don't know if it's the move. I mean, I know thick brows, but also I feel like brow trends are changing every day, and I also just like my brows, but I'm like, let's give it a try, but I don't know. Not bad. I'm not too sure about it, actually. I feel like I look like I have my brother's brows. My arch made them a little more me. Whatevs, I'm not gonna get too hung up on it. Even though I do want to impress you guys, I just don't think it's that deep, okay? Let's do a little simple eyeshadow. I'm just buffing out the creased concealer that I've got up here, and I'm trying out a newer product, the Ilia Liquid Powder Chromatic Eye Tint. This is the shade Fresco. I'm gonna have more of an in-depth review on this as its own video, so keep an eye out for that. But so far, I'm a fan, and I'll just leave it at that. Letting it dry for a second. What do you think about the color? I like it. To add just a little extra razzle dazzle to the lid, I'm gonna add one of my favorite shadows of all time, and that's the MAC shadow in Woodwinked. I'm just gonna use my finger. This is a little more bronze, has some gold tone to it, but they both have a little bit of a, both the Ilia and the MAC have a little bit of a flip to them, which I think is really cool. And I'm just adding this to the center of the lid. Really subtle, but adds a little bit more warmth. I'm gonna use a brush this time. I think it might be more effective than the finger. Sometimes you just gotta test. There we go. Time for some hoops, just to feel like the look is starting to come together, you know? Just so we can feel like we're making progress and we're getting somewhere. It's a good feeling. Now is the time for powder. Taking my finger and really, really lightly patting out any creases from any lines. That's always something to be mindful of, and always something that I'm battling. It's like, on one hand, keep your skin nice and hydrated and juicy, but sometimes that leaves behind a residue on top of the natural oils that my skin already produce, and you also want to use juicy products, but then when you do the two together, then you just got a lot of excess, and it's like, just put some powder on it. But if you're not applying it to a really nice, thin, even layer, then you're just kind of clumping up your concealer or your foundation, and it's not a vibe, is all I'm saying. I have this little tiny sample of this Ciate Extraordinary Translucent Powder. I'm always testing powders. There are some products that I can stick with for a while and use as like my tried and trues, or just use until they're done, like foundations most of the time. Okay. I realize I experiment a lot more than I thought I did, but with mascaras and powders particularly, I'm always trying them out. So I just take a little bit, I put some in the palm of my hand, since it's a loose powder and I don't have a lot of room to dunk a brush in here. And it also just helps keep it more sanitary, so that if I did want to pass this off to somebody, I could easily. And already we've got more creases, but I focus it right here. I don't go all the way under my eyes immediately, because this is where I get the most shine. And this is where I also want to brighten. And then I lightly press it under my eye, because this is where I get the creasing. And then I get even more micro detailing. Take a little tiny brush, get a little more powder. I don't know why I'm in a rush. I'm literally not going anywhere. Maybe it's because I'm losing light, but we can still see. So I take my brush with more powder concentrated on it. So instead of baking this whole under eye area, which is a look, just not for me today, I go directly under my lash line, because that's where the fine lines are that collect concealer. And I kind of bake there. I don't know if this is a foolproof technique just yet. I'm still kind of working it out. Again, between different concealers and different powders, I haven't found the proper combination, let alone the proper technique with it all. But just kind of piling it on so that I am technically baking, which just means putting a bunch of powder on, letting the heat of your skin kind of meld with the powder on top, and it just creates this nice little seal so that your makeup doesn't budge. And that's my number one problem area. And I do normally, if I powder too much, setting spray and a refreshing mist will always make my skin look like itself again. So I don't usually get too concerned about over powdering. However, I try not to, just as a principle for myself. While that sits, I'm gonna line my lips using my favorite NYX lip liner in Natural. Barely overlining and then just filling in a little bit. Just mainly around the perimeter and at the corners. Just like, whatever. That doesn't matter so much because I'm gonna go over it with a little gloss, but a pigmented gloss. But for now, I'm gonna wait for mascara, brow gel, and lip gloss because I'm going to spray a little bit. I think I want more cheek. So you ask for it, you're gonna get it. Using another one of my faves, Burt's Bees blush. I know, Burt's Bees makeup line actually kind of slaps. In Toasted Cinnamon. It's a beautiful color. It's nice and warm and super, super silky. Okay, gonna dust off our excess powder before we spray. And then, again, this is a new thing that I've only done in the last week or so, but we're doing a double spray method. So using some Evian Eau Thermale. I don't know where that's not even on here. I don't know why that came out of my mouth. Mineral water. Super fine mist that makes me feel very fancy when I use it. Because we deserve to feel fancy, you know? Why not? Use a little fan. Not letting it dry completely, and then going in with my Fix Plus all over it. Making sure that I am doused. Then we fan. I try not to make too many facial expressions because while my makeup is still wet, it can fall back into those creases, but it's hard. I'm very expressive. Okay, and you can probably see it more from this reflection over here, but see how it leaves a nice dewy finish? It looks like my skin. It doesn't look overly dewy, I don't look oily, but it just kind of brings the life back to my face. So if I was using more coverage for foundation, or if I was using all powder or whatever it is, like especially in the summertime, if you need a little more powder for oil control and just shine control, a setting spray, but especially this tried and true baby, will help bring your makeup back to life. Just something to know. And I think it's also going to be really great for the winter time if your skin is a little bit drier. It has a soothing and almost hydrating effect to it as well. So it just cohesively brings all of your makeup products together, and it has glycerin in it, which attracts water. So it just kind of, I don't know, I just love it. It's great. Now we lay the brows with Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. Just brushing up. That'll do. Now for mascara. Curling my lashes because I can never not unless I'm intentionally doing something else. I mean, just look at the difference. Come on. Awake, hibernating. Although I have complained many a times, like many legitimate times, that I wish I could actually hibernate this wintry season. Okay, time for mascara. I feel like this is the real showstopper, because I just feel like most of the time, especially with eyeshadow, if you're not wearing mascara, I don't know why my syllables were, I don't know what that was all about, the emphasis there. But I feel like without mascara, a look is not complete. Unless it's an intentional no mascara look. But if you've got a full face and you got eyeshadow on and you don't have mascara, or until you have mascara, it's like, what? What are you doing? I'm saying all of that knowing full well that there are people who can pull off plenty looks without mascara, or just don't want to deal with having to take it off at the end of the day. So like, I ain't nobody, don't worry about it, it's okay. You do you. I've been liking this mascara so far, like actually pretty impressed. The only thing is that because of the style of brush and teeth, it always, like some mascaras I can avoid, words are hard today. I can avoid getting the line on my lid, but almost every single time I use this, I get the line of mascara on my lid that I have to wipe off. Not the end of the world, but a note. Done with the tops for now. Sometimes a third layer will call my name, but that's good for now. For the bottom, and yes, we are using a separate mascara for the bottom. I don't always, but lately this has just made my life a lot easier. I'm using MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara. It's a teeny tiny wand, so it's not super clumsy on the bottom lashes, and it's waterproof, but it comes off like any other mascara does, or, well, that's also because sometimes I will triple cleanse my face, so I think its performance is worth the effort that it may take to remove it. If you ever get a little clump like I did, I don't want that to stay there for the rest of the day. I'm gonna let it sit so that it can dry, and then I'll be able to remove it a lot easier later. So for this one, I'm just gonna lightly tap and there we go. Yoink. Cool. To remove the mascara on the top of my lid, I'm gonna do something that I do all of the time, but I tried doing it on, when I was back in makeup school, I tried doing it on one of my fellow students, and she was like, what the hell are you doing? That is so uncomfortable. But I think there are variables. So, because I heard someone talk about this as a technique, like I didn't just make it up. But you have to be very gentle. I'm using a spoolie, the spoolie that I use on one of my brow brushes. This is especially good when you already have mascara down or even a liner. If you don't have anything on your lid, then you can just go in with a Q-tip, a clean brush, some micellar water, a face cream, your face mist, anything to kind of pick it up. Or you may not even need anything wet. You can just use whatever you got. But using this super, super lightly, my eye is not irritated at all, not uncomfortable, but it just kind of scrapes the mascara off. It seems aggressive, it seems abrasive, but I promise it's not. Obviously, when you're doing it on yourself, you have a lot more control, you know how it feels, but also this is a very soft spoolie. Sometimes more of the disposable ones, which is I think what I was using on my friend at school, are a lot stiffer and less comfortable. So that may have been why. But this just takes 2 seconds and then you're good. I love it. Cool. Cool. Okay, lastly, to finish off the lip, I'm gonna use my NYX Butter Gloss in Madeline. Butter Gloss, it's Butter Gloss. It's a really great peachy nude that I just think is so darling. Gosh, did I just become 60 years old? Oh, it's so darling. And posh, I don't know. I think it's a really cute color. And I really like the formula. So that's that on that. I really wish I had my studio light set up right now because I feel like this would showcase the look a little bit better, but here we are up close. This is a kind of a regular day-to-day thing. Like if I have my head in the gutter, because I just allow myself to go there and just overthink everything or whatever it may be for the day. Like it's like almost like a game show, you know, you have your wheel, you choose what the thing is. It's like pick your spiral of the day for me. But this is a great little pick-me-up if I'm not playing around with makeup, if I'm not trying different looks, if I'm not posting them to Instagram, or if I'm not doing a look specifically for YouTube, this is just kind of the go-to as of late. So I know you're like, yeah, but your hair. I'll get to it, okay? I'll get to it. Yes, I'm still in a robe. I probably should have changed before I did my makeup, but there's actually a high possibility I might stay in these clothes. It's fine. It's fine. So we'll take the clip out, assess the damage. This is my hair, a fresh wash after using my blowout brush, my Amika Heat Style tool, for the second time. My first impression and a full review video is up right now. I'll link that up in the cards and it will be in my description. But I've done it a second time. I think I'm gonna do like this was suggested by a dear friend and subscriber, Teresa. I'm gonna do like a 30 days later review update, but I do use this the second day to touch up. I try to use the most minimal amount of heat when I do heat style my hair, so it's ideal if I can just do it all once and then let my hair ride it out, but I need to touch it up a little bit, as y'all saw. So let's do a little bit of, I don't know if I need dry shampoo yet. I do. I did a co-wash. I didn't use shampoo yesterday, so I realized that I could actually use a little dry shampoo. Let's do that. Okay. And then some heat protectant. I'm using this little Briogeo Blow Dry Protection, Blow Dry Perfection and Heat Protectant Creme. I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. But I only use a little bit when I'm using it on second day or however many day hair, dry hair, just because sometimes it makes my hair curl back up again, you know? And then using the Amika anti-humidity spray all over. I'm gonna need to cover my water so I don't get any of this stuff all in it. That'll work. Okay. Now, just getting the dry shampoo all incorporated. This will be pretty quick and easy, just some touch-ups at the roots and kind of reshaping the ends. All right, so I don't want to add too much more heat to my hair. Like I said, I want to be able to keep it not fried for as long as possible, although I am really enjoying heat styling my hair a lot more because it's just easier to wake up and go. Shout out to all my curly friends. It's a hard life. But I think, as I said in my original review, and anytime I'll talk about my hair until this happens, just imagine that I have better layers all throughout, and I think that would also change the shape of this, but I kind of put my hair back throughout the day. I clip it up if I'm cooking, whatever, so I'm not gonna get too hung up on it. It's super smooth and has some nice body to it, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I think we have everything, ladies and germs, gents. This is it. This is our final look. There's my tripod. We have a little sliver of natural sunlight over here. Let's have a golden hour moment. If we can. Okay. No, this is it. This is the final look for today. Thank you again for hanging out. It's such a pleasure. I love having you guys here in this space with me, and I always have fun when you guys are around. So thank you for just being here. But also, if you do have any questions about any of the products that I used, or if any of the products that you want to know more about will be upcoming reviews, just drop me a comment, and then obviously you'll kind of see them as they come out. But if you want to be ahead of that, if you're not already, please subscribe and turn on the little notification bell so that when these videos do pop up, you'll be notified right away. You don't have to swim through the craziness that is the infinite interwebs, YouTube. And while you're at it, give this video a thumbs up. Follow me on Instagram if you want. I'll have my tag handle, I don't even know what they're called anymore, down in the description. But that's everything for you. Isn't it crazy the power of a good get ready moment? There are some times, like actually yesterday, where I woke up knowing that it just wasn't gonna be it. I'm PMSing pretty heavy, so that is I think why. But I was like, let's just get ready, take a shower, wash your hair, do your get your makeup done. And I did all of it, and I just felt like a little toddler who got like dressed up for, I don't know, church or Christmas or something and hates it, you know? I was just like, meh. But today feels very different, so that's a good thing. I think it's because I'm here with you. It's truly makes a big difference. That's all I have for you, lovely people. Please take care, be well, have a great rest of your day or night, wherever, whenever you are, and I'll see you in the next video. Love you so much. Bye. Here's maybe a touch better lighting to see the final look. I really do think that the misting has created this like really flawless base. I'm really into it. And can you believe I love myself and I'm working on it being a constant thing, but y'all saw me at the beginning of this. I look cute now. Yes, we're always all cute. You know, we can't lie to ourselves, but also, hey. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Maybe I'll put on some real clothes.